Man, I was in a different part of life when I did Voiceless. I was in a good season, but I didn't have joy. And I don't know how much sense that make, but trust me, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of rich, wealthy people who have no joy. But they're having a time of their life. Everything is going right around them, but they weren't happy. And that's where I was with Voice of the Voiceless. Like, I cringe now, even when I listen to some of the tracks on that mixtape, because it's like, man, I should have capitalized on that season. I should have just enjoyed that season, soaked it in, took it for what it was, but I didn't. I was angry, bitter, had a chip on my shoulder, and I laid it out. I'm not regretting it, because music is music, it's an art form, it's an expression, it's out there, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I was like, okay, cool, let's just keep it rolling. But a couple of months after the Voice of the Voiceless, man, the job that I was telling you about on the Good News, if y'all haven't heard Voice of Voiceless, go to iamjasoncurtis.bandcamp.com, and that's on there as well as the new mixtape, the 80s. But on the song Good News, the job I was telling you about, that whole testimony part, a couple months later, man, I ain't had that job no more. And it's like, oh boy, what am I going to do from here? And from that point to about 2 months ago, that's how long it's been. So we're talking summer of 2012 to winter of 2013. Gee, it's crazy. So I did that mixtape with a lot of bitterness and anger. Then the season following, it was just a struggle, and I didn't even want to do music anymore. I think I said it several times. Hey, I've retired from music. I'm not doing music. But in reality, it was like, hey guys, I need to get my life together first before y'all ask me to be on tracks and do music. I'm not even thinking about music right now. I'm thinking about surviving. Okay, that's where I'm at. Once I get in a good season again, I'll probably do some music, and lo and behold, the 80s mixtape. Boom. Like that segue, huh? 80s mixtape. And I wanted the whole concept for the 80s mixtape. First of all, I didn't even know I was going to do the mixtape, because I just got like a microphone, and I was going to just test it out. And I was like, oh, this is working out great. I got some beats I've been sitting on. Shout out to the Stuyvesants, dope producers out of New York. I sat on their beats for a minute, and I was like, wait a minute. In the back of my mind, I always wanted to do an 80s type of mixtape, just showing how I came up in the 80s. So the concept of the album as a whole, or the mixtape as a whole, was already there. It was just a matter of mapping out the songs, the order, the topics of each song, and how it was all going to flow. And I did all of that in a span of 3 days. I mean, I didn't have anything written down. I didn't have any concept per song or anything. Nothing recorded, nothing. And in 3 days, man, I just knocked out the whole mixtape. 3.5 days. 3.5. And if you include me trying to mix, because, I'm not an engineer or anything, it's like like, all right, let me do the best I can and just get it out to people. It didn't turn out too bad, you know. Listen, I did Jay Curtis Unmixtape back in 07. I don't know if I'm gonna ever upload that joint. And it's funny because my boy Thrill, he's like, yo, that mixtape was hot. And there's some other people was like, yo, that mixtape was hot. But it's like, it was unmixed, man. Like, severely unmixed. It was so bootleg how I did that one. Like, I had the headset joint with the microphone. I plugged it up to my laptop. And I was just rapping. And, you know, it had like the little foam mic piece. And sometimes the microphone would hit my lip. And so you hear all that and stuff. It's like, what in the world, son? But I wanted to get some type of music out of my own. And I was like, yeah, Jay Curtis Unmixtape. Woo! It did have some fun songs on there. I may, don't hold me to it, but I may re-record that joint and release it. It's so dated though. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's the whole transition, and that's how we got from Voice of the Voiceless to the 80s.